you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. Welcome back, everybody. I think one of the most important structural questions you should be asking yourself is, how do I build trust in the current marketplace? And there's been a lot of conversation for a lot of years around personal brands and the importance of being human for very good reason. Being human and connecting at a human level will make you a category of one business, which means when people look for a solution, they see you as an essential part of their success equation. And so today, on today's episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message, I want to take you through steps you can do that we do to help us really accelerate our trust factor in the marketplace and be clear that we're a beacon for our next client to come towards us. So welcome, guys. If you're new here, I am your host, Campbell Rapin. I'm a business owner, and I believe firmly, and I have since the very beginning of my business, that access, human connection are what will make or break our business. And I will tell you, in the rearview mirror, this was not a popular approach. I remember 5 years ago when I first incorporated my business, my mentor and my peers were all about funnels. They were all about faceless marketing. They were all about, in recent years, AI, artificial intelligence. And a good friend of mine, Captain Lou, says, I want you to rethink what AI actually needs to mean for you if you're a business owner based in a service industry. It should mean actual interaction. Hell yes. So let's talk about it. I think there are 7 things that you can do to really help build trust in the marketplace right now. And you can watch us. If you're not following us on social media, this is an easy one. Go do that right now. Pick your favorite platform. We're most active on LinkedIn. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, you name it, we're there. And here's what you'll see. The first thing I want you to do is to post personal photos of you. If you are out in the world of life, show it, because somehow along the way, we forgot that social media was about being social. And so people want to see you in real time. They do not want to see fake AI images. They want to know that your hair color changed. They want to know what your wardrobe is. And yes, this means for me, truthfully, I got to look back through my photos and think, wow, do I need a new overhaul on the wardrobe? But it's important that you take pictures with other people. And so when I was first introduced to Bill Walsh, who is one of my mentors, he ran an exercise in his Rainmaker community that really changed the photo piece of the puzzle. Because if you want to go anywhere, here's how we do it now. If you're new in a room and I don't know you, I have this conversation. Who are you? What makes you awesome? Tell me about the impact you're working on in the next 90 days and how can I support you? That's awesome. I'd like to keep in contact. Let's take a picture. We take a picture together and I ask you this, what's your phone number? I will send you the picture and I will tag you on social media. You doing that simple strategy, number one, always helps you remember how you met somebody and where you met them, which can be super helpful for your own business, especially if you meet a lot of people. Second thing is you and someone else connected and tagged on social media brings you to whole new audiences. So first off, take some pictures. And importantly, take pictures that actually not are of the thing, but are of you experiencing the event. Why is the experience so important? Because if you're truly a service provider that needs to be hired, people want to experience the real you. So that's step one. And if you want to accelerate that, get into more rooms. The real room is so important because it's a barrier to entry. Not everybody will make the effort. And if you make the effort to get in a room, also bonus tip here, always go VIP. Why? Because you're in the room with the action takers. You're in the room with people who will do something with the experience. And 3, chances are they're connected to other experiences. And you don't have to go, where should I go? You can simply ask, where are you playing? And is it fit for me? could you help welcome you in a new room? So that's step one. Second thing I think that's really important is to leverage somebody else's celebrity. And that means if you want famous people or people with bigger weight in their influence than you, connect to them. And I want you to engage with them. Specifically, follow them, connect to them, make a personal introduction, add value to their community, promote their content. And if you do that, they will start to see you not as one of the masses, but as a peer. And that's why those extra steps are so important, because you are, in fact, peers. Yes, they may be having bigger influence than you, but at some point they started right where you are. And great people with influence truly always lean back, reach a hand, and say, I see you, and I'll support you. And that's also why what I've seen in the room experience, which I just talked about, as a more and more prevalent area, is if you go VIP, you'll get pictures with celebrities. And so I'm attending an event later this fall with celebrity athletes, sports promoters, titans of industry, and a big part of the VIP experience will be access to the photographs, access then to a personal introduction, and guess what? The start of a long-term relationship that has, again, a bigger ripple than the one I could cast on my own. So don't be shy. Seek to make peers with people who are having greater influence than where you might stand today. And recognize this, please be a good egg in this equation. If people reach out to you who are starting out, they see you with the titan and the weight that they don't have. Help and support, lean back and reach a hand and engage. And please, I think it's important here, bonus round again, don't outsource this, because it matters to build the personal relationships. The third piece, which really is important when you're building a personal brand, is that you've got to be clear what you want to be known for. There is a pathway to, of course, just reshare other people's platforms, but if people don't know who you are, if your goal is to be hired as a service provider, you're making this hard. So the good rule of thumb is that more than half of your content should be about what you want to be known for. It should always be that if you're talking about something else, somebody's event, you're promoting it, you have to showcase your lens, what you feel, what your opinion is, and be true to the way you show up in the world. And so it's important that you curate the conversation, that you set what you want to say, and that you contribute with that true authenticity, which makes you a category of one person. But guys, please remember, more than half of your impact should be about what you see, experience, and feel. Why is this so important? Because I've said it before on this platform, but if you're new and you haven't heard this, please remember, you get hired for your opinion. You get hired because you bring a unique lens, a unique experience, a unique expertise to the table, and you need to be in rooms and talking about things all the time. Why? So people know where you stand today. Relevance is current. Number 4, I think it's important that you plan, make sure you build results, and talk about the results. This isn't about being grandiose. This is not about boasting. This is about having certainty about what you do, how you introduce yourself, the result you stand for. And the more reps you put into this, the more confident, the more energetic emphasis you will provide. And so in our Momentum to Millions program, which is our 12-week accelerator, we spend a lot of time over 12 weeks practicing who are you, what makes you awesome, and how do you introduce yourself. Because if we can't nail this first impression, we may not be granted a second. And while it seems super simple that we know what we do, God, I would tell you guys, we stumble over this. And stumbling is evidence of a lack of practice. So be sure, what's the result you do? Talk about what becomes possible when people work with you, and introduce yourself as the must hire. That's the bridge that makes the dream the reality. And repeat, repeat, repeat. And so get into more events, bumble it, get better. Iteration is the name of the game. Number 5, I think it's important that you be specific about how you want to get involved. So if you're involved in connection with another human being, add value, be of service, and play the long game. Relationships are never built on a hit and run strategy. So think about how you contribute, volunteer ways you can support, and be the first to be a promoter of somebody else. Because I will tell you, some of the rooms that I will move heaven and earth to be in to support are people that are great promoters of other people. And I think what's important as I set our standard for our business is we want to be that for others. We want to be known for our heart. We want to be known that we show up. We want to know that we're tracking, me specifically, I'm tracking what's going on in the lives of the people in my network. We happen to have had an occasion in our lives, usually has balloons and cake. You might know what that kind of event is recently. And the coolest bit was when everyone who was reaching out to say happy birthday is how fun and impactful it was for me to say, hey, congrats on your retirement. I saw you sold your business. Hey, congrats on opening your newest location. Hey, congrats. I see that your podcast that I know we had an engagement on 2 or 3 years ago is still up and running. And it blows people away. But it's because when I'm engaging with people, I'm thinking about how I can contribute. And many years ago, when I first started my business, one of the most impactful people in my life is a gentleman by the name of Kellen Flukiger. Last name 1 in a million. Because he said this to me, don't look for clients. Look for ways you can contribute, people you can support, and ways you can add value. And when you do that, clients always follow. And so think about your contribution as step number 5. Number 6, I think it's important if you're building a personal brand to be visible, leading the thought leadership. It's one thing to say you're a thought leader, but evidence pays way above its weight. And that means speaking. I want you to be speaking. And whether you see yourself filling big stadiums as the person in the spotlight, or you simply want to be able to walk into a chamber of commerce, walk into a virtual networking room and own this, I think it's really important that you're clear what's the purpose of your speaking. And there are a lot of different angles to take on this. But what's most important is you use your voice, your experience, your lens to show the world who are you, where you play, and what makes you awesome at it. So take the mic, learn to practice the craft, build off of, I know how to add value, I can talk about my results, and I'm clear that I have one goal: impact, influence, and moving the audience towards the outcome they want. My very good friend Les Brown said this to me, and he says it to me regularly for a very important reason when it comes to speaking, because he's the GOAT of speaking on the motivational side. He says this to me: never let what you want to say get in the way of what the audience needs to hear. So that means you must listen, you must engage, you must build the relationships, first with the host so you can deliver on their platform, and secondly within the room so that you deliver a great experience for the audience, which will halo on the host and, yes, very likely impact your reputation on a bigger way, because it's okay to ask the audience to take a picture, to share it. And if they do that, be a great human being, directly engage, build the relationships, and move from that. 7th piece of the puzzle here is I think you want to be very clear. You have to show your face. And faceless marketing and AI-generated images have made this more and more important. And you do want to decide how you show your face. I think there's 2 different philosophies on this, and I know everybody's got an opinion. You can decide that you only show it when you're polished, put together, and you have it all together, and you set that standard and own it. I think there's also the opportunity to show you as a human, as a work in progress. If you follow us on social media, you will see that there's a mix of both. And all my friends that are in the industry who have great talent and really curate personal brands, I know they cringe when they go, oh my God, that is a behind the scenes shot. Please don't do that. And I'm like, behind the scenes matter. Because for you to know us as credible, for you to stay engaged in this platform, I need to be me. And I need to be the human that's a work in progress, having, yes, incredible successes and having big influential names that I have the opportunity to partner with and be friends with. But I also will say this, I have to show my face when I swing for the fences and miss. Why? Because that's real. It's real. And again, that's so important. It's been a fundamental to our business. And so I want to take you behind the scenes today to show you what the structure looks like. There were 7 tips. Let me recap them for you today. I think it's important that you show personal photos, you living with other people, because why? If you have missed this, sit down, Buttercup, write this on a Post-it note. I'm in the business of people. If you're in business, people are non-negotiable. They're an essential part of it. So the world wants to know, are you with people? You can decide where you do that, how you do that. And I honestly often joke to my team and to myself, I take more pictures, I create more social content when I'm in a real room. So how do I do life? I set myself up for success by making sure we're in rooms every single month in our business. And the coolest bit is if we get into new rooms, same rooms, we build relationships, deepen them, and bigger opportunities typically follow. Not because I fought and pursued them, but because they came from as a natural byproduct of the relationships. So photos of people, personal photos, step 1. Number 2, if you want to carry weight and influence of people who've already built reputations, already have influence, people that have celebrity or famous for being an expert or having an impact in the world, engagement as a peer is essential. Number 3, do not forget to put your self-promotion hat on. Talk about who you are, what you stand for, and what you want to be known for. And you need to do that more than 50% of the time. Otherwise, you become this great curator, but you're not the person who's hired. And my friends, we on this platform are about being the must hire. You have to tell the world you're available and be sure you're coordinating the conversation around it. Number 4, you must practice how to introduce yourself. You must be sure you talk about the result. You must be sure you talk about what becomes possible, and you must insert yourself through evidence or direct story of, I know how to get from A to B predictably. If that's of interest, I invite you to move. Number 5, you must contribute. You have to be specific about where you can add value and follow through if the invitation is made immediately. You'll impress everybody and knock their socks off, because promises are easy, follow through less so, and really your reputation can be built on follow through faster than promises that never show up and become just a mirage. Speak always. It's the fastest path to cash because it's real-time communication. It's real-time evidence of how you think. It's real-time you showing up as you, a work in progress with something to say, and a way to move somebody else towards the result they want. And lastly, show your face. And that means you need to love how you show up. It is important to invest in wardrobe, in hair, and ladies, a bit of makeup, a red lipstick shows confidence. You're allowed to be a work in progress. You're allowed to be you. Please do something great with it, because in the world right now, our number 1 challenge in business is to build trust. These are 7 strategies to build your personal brand. Because remember this, if you are a coach, they do not buy coaching, they buy the coach. If you're in service, they do not buy the product, they buy the result. And all of this is curated by lived experience, human to human. And you must set that narrative, be consistent with that narrative, and be human in that narrative. If you're new here, please save and share this episode to somebody you know who needs these tips. My name is Christine Campbell Rapin. I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com